Yes. I've myself spoken and seen other people speak at city council meetings, and a lot of times they bring very valid and real concerns to the table. But right now, I don't feel as if there's any accountability from the council or the mayor to adequately address the comments. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes, and we have a lot of times real issues that are completely ignored, or the answers are full of misinformation with no recourse. How can we change this?
Okay, we'll start with Mr. Padilla.
Well, I mean, it begins with leadership that really believes in public input and isn't going to just go through the motions to say you got your 3 minutes, but it's actually going to actively listen to what you're saying and then respond to you. I can't speak to what your impression of the current mayor or council is in the past. I know many of the people sitting up here are very diligent and fantastic. Councilmember Aguilar and Councilmember Salas and even Rendon and I, when we served together at trying to be responsive to the public. So if that's your perception, I'm sorry that it is. But I think that a responsible council has to make sure that staff are following through, that we're communicating with constituents, and that we're actually listening and considering your ideas. Beyond that, maybe we can at certain times extend the amount of time for public.
Well, if I'm elected, it's to present solutions to problems. I don't know what that was, but I would suggest submitting a brief that would go along with the 3 minutes of comments. If you need to express something that would go over 3 minutes, put it in bullet points. Write it out. You do it as college students. You do it as adults. That would be a solution.
Ms. Aguilar?
Mr. Padilla is right. This is a leadership issue. The 3 minutes, the 5 minutes that's allowed for public to speak, those are guidelines. It's up to the presiding officer, the mayor, who's running the meetings. The mayor has the right and responsibility to be flexible in giving that, and I think that it's good that we're going to have new leadership in the mayor's office.
Ms. Salas?
I think that it is a matter of respect in how you treat someone that comes up to the dais and not diminishing their input or giving an aura of superiority. And you can rest assured that when I'm mayor, that I will be really sensitive to the concerns of the community, and to let you know that right now is that I answer each one of my emails, I answer my own telephone calls, I set up meetings with my community members in my office if they ever have any concerns that they want to address personally to me, and I don't think that that's going to stop when I'm mayor.
Mr. Rendon?
The honest answer here is these are guidelines, and as mayor, when there are situations that there are issues that need to be addressed and allow more time, then certainly that has the flexibility and is able to administratively be done. And it has been done upon occasion, so it's not a rare exception. And the public has the right to speak, and your elected officials need to have the opportunity to hear what is said. So you have to be a little flexible, and that's all part of our leadership.
My question for you is that many of you, with the exception of Mr. Smith, have all served on council for a large number of years, and a small business owner and somebody who has family that has owned business in Chula for quite a while. Can you provide tangible proof, not as an elected official or policies you pass, but can you provide tangible proof that the policies that you put in place have resulted in very successful culture and climate for our small businesses in the city of Chula?
Okay, we'll start on this end, please.
Well, as I said earlier, the Chula Chambers comprise 85% of small businesses, and that's essential to create an atmosphere that's positive for small businesses to thrive and to prosper. And that's a role that I will see personally as your mayor, to ensure that the city is carrying out policies that make small businesses be able to be streamlined, processed, and be successful.
Ms. Ellis?
Yes, and one of the things that we do need to do, when I was there before, we had a strong economic development, community development department, and that was slashed during the budget meltdown. And one of the, I guess one of the counterintuitive things that you can do is to shut down your economic development arm when that's exactly when you need it. And creating oddsman for the businesses, a liaison. And not only that, but I really believe that there should be business roundtables and a business advisory group to the mayor and the council. That was done away with, and I think that it's critical for us to be able to hear directly from the businesses what the impediments are for their success and we need to get back to that, and I will as mayor.
Thank you. Ms. Aguilar?
Small businesses represent the business backbone of the city of Chula Vista. The question was, what have you done to encourage that? What I've done is I've just on my own, I've made it a point to go around the city and visit small businesses. I do it on a weekly basis so I can learn more ways that they need help. And I've learned a lot from that exercise, and I'll be happy to talk to you more about that.
Mr. Smith?
I am a small business. I think I will be the only council member, if elected, that actually has his own small business. I was labeled a lone newcomer by the UT. If you elect me, you're going to have a fresh new set of ideas from somebody that actually goes to work every day and figures out how to pay for marketing, how to pay for rent, how to pay for utilities. In fact, the cost for solid waste just went up by 12%. I don't know if you all have heard about that. These are things that affect all of us, and we're small businesses. That's the foundation for this great country.
Mr. Padilla?
Well, public policies, Jason, aren't only half of it. The economy and markets are other. It's not just what City Hall is doing. And small businesses rely on market. They rely on local consumers, and those local consumers have to have larger businesses working in the community. So I can tell you the answer to your question is I think in some cases yes, in some cases no. I can speak to when I served as mayor. We worked with VF Goodrich Aerostructures, one of our largest private employers, which has a benefit and impact on small businesses in Chula Vista, to score major contracts on the Boeing 787. We brought Leviton to Chula Vista. Hitachi North America came to Chula Vista. Now, subsequently, because of the economy and other factors, some of those anchor tenants have left. And we have to look at that. But we can't just look just at small business alone and city policies. We have to look at what place do small businesses have
Okay,
in the
Mr.
regional
Padilla,
economy.
again, I'm sorry for being
No, it's fine.
disrespectful.
Finish.
And how will you partnership in terms of with the local secondary level, as well as the elementary level, as well as preschool? Will that university be a resource for our young preschoolers? Will they feed into that university?
Okay.
Will the university partner back and forth with those, with our local schools here in Chula Vista?
Okay, I think that's fair enough. Thank you very much, Mr. Padilla.
Well, I served as mayor. We launched the University Park and Research Center concept. And at one point, we had a fairly distinguished committee of people from local institutions of higher learning, UCSD, San Diego State, Point Loma Nazarene, Southwestern College. And we also had CETIS from Baja California and Monterrey Tech from Mexico, which is basically Mexico's MIT. We had a number of interested parties around the table and networked, and I think that's the approach that needs to happen again in the future. And as far as working in partnership with our secondary schools and our elementary schools, I certainly hope so, because it can be not just serving the market, but being a resource.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
I can't tell you how excited.
Okay, we're almost done.
Great answer. I can't tell you how excited I am about this, because it's not only just the universities and the academia that's going to get this project off the ground. It's really the businesses. And you've got Kelly Baja. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but there's like 55 aerospace companies alone that build parts for every type of airplane that's built in the United States. Again, the medical instruments that are built in Baja are incredible. If you are a new company, let's say the Fitbit, I don't know if you all have heard of those the fitness trackers. That was developed here in San Diego County. They sent their first run to be made in Baja, and then it was brought over here, and they didn't have to go to China. We've got the opportunity of a lifetime to really make this a working university that works with businesses and that can get things built and that can really just open a whole new horizon for Chula.
Ms. Aguilar?
Ms. Zachary, I think you asked one of the best questions of the evening. Thank you for asking it. We, in developing this new Chula Vista University, we're going to have to find a new model, an integrated model that brings in the whole feeder system so that we do a better job than universities have in the past here in California.
Ms. Salas?
Yes, I really agree that we need a seamless transition from elementary school to middle school to high school to the community college. and onto the university. And I know that an idea that I put out there last year was very poorly received, but one of the motivations for my wanting to explore the possibility of unification, taking all the problems aside because problems get solved, school districts turn around, was not to highlight whether there was a good school district or a bad school district, but how do we best efficiently move our children through those systems so that they are successful. So yes, we need to work with the school districts to make sure that we have programs like the Compact for Success that really create a pathway to the university.
Mr. Renda?
This is the grandest opportunity we have before us, is to bring in a university of the future. And I touched upon this earlier in the discussion tonight. This new university, or universities not only with cross-border possibilities, but will be integrated into the community and to the businesses. It will not have the walls, it will have the technology. You have such things as the Olympic Training Center, where we may be able to have sports medicine integrated as a specialty with the cross-border opportunities. There's going to be no option for which we're not going to explore, because we want to build a university so our children and grandchildren will be able to go to college in their own community, and this will afford greater opportunities. This is my highest priority to get it done.